What's up, YouTubers? Rich from 2RC Productions here, and we're going to do a little lead into the video this week. And the video this week is my cousin Dan's race footage. He's got a Lotus that he races on the road course. He wasn't always a road course guy. He used to be, you know, drag racing, and he still does that. He's got a Cobra. He's got a Cadillac CTS-V. When I was growing up, he had in the 80s, he had a 79 Mustang that he built the engine and everything, a 510-inch motor or something like that. He was running like 10 flat. And then he redid it, and he was running like 8s with it. And he's a very knowledgeable guy when it comes to cars. I mean, just incredible amount of knowledge. Like he just gets into so much of the technical side. He just blows me away. So anyway, he's had his own shop for years. He's retired now, and now his hobby is doing the road racing stuff. So the video today you're going to see is some footage that my Aunt Lola sent over last week, and I was very impressed with it. I thought it was really cool. In the video, he's running his Lotus, and the guy in front of him is a professional race driver. And you can see that he's holding his own on the course, and it's pretty impressive. So I wanted to share that video footage with you on the channel. I got permission from the guy's name is Jack Up 50, I believe it was, and I'll put a link to his channel below. But I wanted to get permission from him because I'm not one for stealing anybody's content. And my cousin Dan said it was cool that we could share it. So I want to share that footage with my YouTube audience. We're always putting cool and different things related to cars or RC on the channel. So anyway, give you a quick update on the Bullitt. I'm out in the garage today. Last week I had a busy weekend. We got the rooms put back together, the carpet in there, everything back, the beds in there, so the kids are back in their rooms. I had to work nights over the weekend, so Sunday morning I spent a few hours working on the Bullitt, and I got it all apart up to this point to where everything is out of the way. I just loosened the crank gears. I'm going to spin the crankshaft now, so the keyway's at 12 o'clock. Which is supposed to be the point where there's no interference between the pistons and the valves, even if the cams spin a little bit. They have this locking tool and stuff that you can put in there, but it doesn't make sense for me to lock it because I got to take it all apart anyway. I'm taking the cams off. So I'm just going to be very careful when I loosen these bolts up that it's going to spin a tiny bit, but it should be in that range where it shouldn't affect anything. So I'm going to get the cam gears off, the cams out, take the tensioners off, take the chains off, get everything stripped off, and then we'll start replacing stuff with new parts. So you guys saw the table and all the parts and bagged up and everything. Here's the new valve springs from MMR. I ordered the new valve springs. And then the Ford Performance timing kit comes with everything. This was a great deal I got from American Muscle. Ford wanted like $540 just for the guides, tensioners, and chains. Here I got the seal, the crankshaft seal. I got the gaskets for the timing chain cover, all brand new hardware, spacers, washers, 2 new timing chains, more hardware, crankshaft gears, cast iron tensioners, which I wasn't sure on this car. I thought they would be composite, but it does have the cast tensioners on it. New guides, new cam gears, everything is in the kit. New trigger wheel, this crankshaft trigger wheel. I actually called my cousin Dan about it. I texted him about it because I wasn't sure. It looks like the notch is in the right place and the keyway is in the right place, but it has a different set of holes on it. And he said that if it's different, it could possibly change the timing on the crankshaft, which, you know, would trick the computer, I guess, and throw it off. So he told me to use the stock one, which I'm going to do. Other than that, it's, you know, tearing into it. You can see the oil pump down here is exposed. I'm really thinking about changing that out too while I got it apart, but I want to get a Ford one because I was looking, Melling makes them, and I was reading horror stories on the reviews and stuff. I don't want to have any problems with any of these parts that I'm putting in after putting it back together and have to take this thing all apart again. I ordered the new Felpro gaskets for the valve covers and the intake gasket. There's, you know, the middle one here and then the ones up on top of the head. I ordered all those new Felpro. Those should be here in a few days. I'm going to take the intake off after I get all this stuff back together. So just wanted to give you an update on the Bullitt. Going to be taking all this stuff off and continuing on. We're losing weather here. It's cold today. It's like 40 degrees today, rainy. But I'm going to keep plugging along on this because I really don't want this sitting all winter. I want to get it back together so I can tell if the improvements that we made helped. And I spun this a little bit when I was loosening the bolt, so I tightened up a little bit. But the problem was here is that this chain was extremely loose. And you could see the engagement on the tensioner. Like this one sticks down in there. It's expanded way more than this one. This one collapsed out. So I'm assuming that for whatever reason that tensioner you know, lost pressure, whatever. And after it runs for a few minutes, I believe that what was happening was I was getting this ticking from this chain when I would start it up, and it would last like 2 or 3 minutes, you know, maybe 4 minutes. And then I think what was happening is the tensioner was pumping up enough to quiet it up so it wasn't making noise anymore. And my major concern with the guides was that they weren't broken and parts were down inside the oil pan, and then I'd have to drop the oil pan, which would require taking the motor up, and I didn't want to get into all that. So the guides look to be all intact. None of the bushings and bolts are broken. I see a lot of these where these clips break off. Right here, I don't know if you can see that. Let me shine the light for you. Right in here where the bolt is, those would actually break off, and then the tensioner would loosen up. And I'm sure I had a little rough idle situation going on here, and what I'm thinking is because the guide, or because the chain was loose on this side, when that thing loosens up, it has to turn the cam a little bit and change the timing. Not a ton, but enough to make a difference where I think it was affecting the idle. So hopefully all the stuff, I think I showed you guys the water pump and all that. Basically everything, all new hoses I'm going to change. Everything that I, you know, down to this point that I can change, I'm going to be changing. So the pullers work great that I bought to get those pulleys off. The crankshaft bolt was tough. I had Richie help me on that, put a hole back on it, and cranked it off with a 1/2-inch breaker bar. That thing was pretty tight. But so that's it, guys. I want you to, hopefully you guys enjoy the video of Dan racing on the road course. And I got the videos coming up for the New Bright Trail Cat. It's going to be coming up. A series of run videos over the next month or so. And then we're going to do the channel giveaway that's sponsored by New Bright Toys, which is very cool. And that's it. So till next time, guys, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Rich here of 2RC Productions signing out. Thanks for watching. Dan, my cousin that the video is about, I hate bothering people and I hate asking people questions and stuff like that. But if I get into a bind, he's the guy I got to call, or my Uncle Gene. They are the Ford guys. And I had to call him because I'm starting to spin this thing over to get the keyway, where it needs to be, like 11 o'clock. And I go to spin it over and I'm having resistance. I go to spin it a little bit and I got resistance. So I'm like, oh man, what the heck is going on here? Did the thing jump time or whatever? I'm getting nervous because I don't want to bend valves or whatever. So I called Danny and I asked him about it. And he's like, yeah, you shouldn't have much resistance, maybe 30 foot-pounds or something. That thing should whip over like nothing. So I go to move it a little bit and I got resistance. And then I'm thinking, oh man, it jumped time and I'm crashing a valve into the piston. But I'm like, man, it ran perfect. I don't know when this could have happened. I didn't see anything spin. So I just kind of look it over and I check and make sure the pistons are clear. Everything looks clear. Then all of a sudden it dawns on me, I ain't been in this car in 2 months. I'm turning the crankshaft and trying to drive the damn car because I had it in gear still. So guys, stupid, obvious thing, but I didn't even think about it. And I'm thinking I got a worse problem here. So do yourselves a favor and make sure the car's in neutral before you try to spin the crankshaft over. All right, YouTubers. Catch you on the next one.